Welcome to Everyday Insights, where we cut through the noise and expose the beautiful, brutal truth lurking beneath the surface of what you think you know. Today, we're putting 10 of the most persistent, widely believed myths about the human being, our bodies, our brains, and our behavior under the microscope. Prepare to have your understanding of what it means to be human professionally dismantled. Myth 1. We only use 10% of our brains. This is perhaps the most enduring and flattering myth of all time. It suggests a vast, untapped reserve of genius just waiting to be unlocked. The myth. The vast majority of your brain is dormant. You only use a mere 10% of it. The debunk. This is completely false. Brain scans, such as fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, and PET positron emission tomography, clearly show that all areas of the brain have a known function and are active over a 24-hour period, even during sleep. Even simple tasks require activity across multiple cortical regions. If 90% of your brain were truly unused, sustaining minor trauma to any part of the brain wouldn't result in the devastating functional deficits we often observe. Evolution simply wouldn't allow us to lug around such a metabolically expensive, useless organ. The true fact: we use 100% of our brain. At any given moment, most of the neurons are engaged in processing information, storing memories, or maintaining basic autonomic functions. Myth 2. You must drink 8 glasses of water a day. A nice round number that has become gospel, but it lacks scientific rigor. The myth. The universally required minimum is 8 8-ounce glasses of water per day. The debunk. While hydration is critical, this rigid rule is an oversimplification. The required amount of fluid varies dramatically based on your activity level, climate, body weight, diet, and overall health. Furthermore, a significant portion of our daily water intake, up to 20%, comes from food, especially fruits and vegetables, and other beverages like coffee and tea, which, contrary to another common myth, do count toward fluid intake. The true fact. The best guideline is to drink when you're thirsty. Your body has a sophisticated mechanism, thirst, to regulate hydration. For a practical approach, look for pale yellow urine, a good indicator of proper hydration. Myth 3. Hair and fingernails continue to grow after death. A spooky, almost gothic idea perpetuated in fiction. The myth. Hair and fingernails continue to elongate for a period after a person dies. The debunk. Hair and nail growth requires a complex cycle of cell mitosis, driven by metabolism and hormone production, which ceases entirely when the heart stops. The illusion of growth occurs because the skin and soft tissues retract and dehydrate in the hours following death. This recession of the skin around the hair follicles and nail beds makes the hair and nails appear more prominent or longer than they did just before death. The true fact. True cellular growth stops immediately upon death. The observed change is due to the drying and shrinking of the surrounding skin. Myth 4. Your tongue has distinct areas for different tastes. This myth originates from a misinterpretation of a German paper from 1901. The myth. There are specific regions on the tongue, like the tip for sweet, the sides for sour, that are dedicated exclusively to perceiving one of the 5 basic tastes. The debunk. This is grossly inaccurate. The entire tongue, as well as the palate and the epiglottis, is covered in taste receptors housed within the papillae. While some areas may be slightly more sensitive to a particular taste, all basic tastes, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, can be detected across the surface of the tongue. The true fact. All taste sensations are perceived across all areas of the tongue. The perception of flavor is actually a complex interaction between these taste buds and our sense of smell, olfaction. Myth 5. Humans have only 5 senses. Aristotle's classification, while foundational, is scientifically incomplete. The myth. We only possess the 5 classic senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. The debunk. Scientists generally agree that humans have at least 9 and potentially up to 20 senses. Beyond the classic 5, Crucial internal senses include proprioception, the sense of where your body parts are in space without looking. Nociception, the sensory nervous system's response to harmful stimuli, pain. Thermoception, the sense of heat and cold. Equilibrioception, the sense of balance, managed by the vestibular system in the inner ear. The true fact: the human sensory system is complex and includes several internal mechanisms critical for survival and movement, most notably proprioception and equilibrioception. Ultimately, the goal isn't just to replace bad data with good data, but to understand that the human experience, from our biology to our behavior, is often far more complex and nuanced than the easy sound bites we rely on. The next time you hear a definitive, simple statement about how your body works, remember to look beyond the myth and ask for the evidence. Because the real truth, while less sensational than the fiction, is always more insightful. Hit subscribe, and we'll continue to cut through the noise, leaving you feeling less informed by common knowledge and much more justified in trusting the scientific facts.